All right, I'm live. Sorry about the few minute wait there. So, let me read the description of this video. I hope you can hear me. Let me make sure. Looks like you can hear me. The four winds are real, and I think that that's just like the air. We all know what wind is. If your hair gets blown in the wind, we all know what that is. The four winds are real, and in Revelation, there are four angels that John sees holding back the four winds from hurting the earth. And there's a battle that happens between those angels and Satan and his angels and Michael in the sky, and that we are witnessing. A lot of people aren't witnessing it, but if you look on your screen, there is a war happening, and a lot of the people that would be possibly interested in this are just ignoring it as if it's fake or being faked. And that's sad, but that's what it is. Most people think that this is an interpretation of Scripture. Like when I'm talking about the dragon that's flying in the sky, they think it's an interpretation of Scripture, but it is not. It is simply an observation that we can make together today. There is a SpaceX dragon flying up in the sky. This battle is going to make the stars fall to the ground, and the King of Kings is coming to execute judgment. So if you look at the right side of your screen at the top, that's called Super Heavy, and it's a booster that SpaceX is building. Let's do this. We're just going to look at a couple things really quick. Okay. Do you see what shape it is? What it looks like? Okay. There's a word used in the book of Daniel and in 1 Kings and in, where else was it? One other place. And it uses this word right here. And the word is ram. Like the animal. We all know what that is. If I go like this and search Google for a ram and go to images, there, you know what I'm talking about, a ram. Right? We all know what that is. But there's a different way that this word is used. Right here. As a masculine noun. Projecting pillar or pilaster. Remember when I was telling you to look at the shape of this? I don't know how many of you watched the video that I last uploaded. What did I name it? I named it The Demon in Arabia. Let's actually, I can play it a different way. Let me add a video to my software here really quick. I want to play the end of it, and this is from the Testament of Solomon, some interesting things that were said in there. Let's see, where is this? Demons of Arabia, or a demon or the demon. So this is Solomon, and he's given power over these demons, and he instructs them to he instructs one of them to lift this stone up onto the part of the construction work that they were doing on the temple or whatever. And the demon told him that if he went and got his buddy from the sea, his buddy demon or whatever, that together they could lift let's just go to probably right about here. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my, oops. Okay, sorry.
Again, Arabia, I went down to the temple, thinking by what means I could lift the stone. And as I entered the temple, I saw the skin, and it rose up and hopped 7 paces, and fell on its face, and did obeisance to me. And I marveled, and bade it stand up, and it stood on its feet, puffed up with wind. Then I asked, Who are you? And a voice answered me from within the skin,
Did you guys notice he was puffed up with air? Because what this was Arabia, the kings or whatever over there, sent him a message to Solomon saying, "We understand you know the that you have power over these demons, and we have a terrible one." And it was that the wind would blow for 3 hours every dawn or something, and anything that the wind would blow on, it would kill. Like it would kill the people and the cattle, or the cattle. So then they got Solomon to. Sorry, my brother was just saying something to me. They got Solomon to send a servant over there with this ring, and he was supposed to capture this wind, and he did. And that's where this kind of starts out right here. He captured it in like a wineskin, and then bound it in there, and then he put it in the temple. So that's where this picks up. And Solomon was talking about how he wanted to lift this big stone, but he couldn't get any of the demons or the servants that could lift it. So this wind, that what I'm trying to point out is that this is wind. It's very strong.
I am Ephippus, who dwell in Arabia. And I said, What can you do? And it answered, I can overturn kings' palaces, and wither the green trees of the wood, and I can move mountains. Then I said, Are you able to move this stone, and lift it up, and set it upon the corner of the temple? And it said, Not only can I do so, O king, but if I have the demon that is in the Red Sea to help me, I can bring up the great pillar that is there, and set it in whatever place you command.
So then he starts just off the wall talking about this great pillar that if he gets his other demon buddy to go with him, that together they can lift this pillar.
So I said, Lift up the cornerstone. And the skin first of all became flattened, as if the wind was gone out of it, and slipped itself under the stone, and then it blew itself out again, so that the stone was lifted up upon its back, and it walked upon its stumps, bearing the stone to the ladder, and climbed up and set the stone safely in its place upon the corner of the temple. And I was greatly rejoiced, and all Jerusalem with me. After that I sent Ephippus to fetch to me the demon that is in the Red Sea, and commanded them to bring with them the great pillar.
So he commands him to go get his buddy and bring the great pillar.
And after a while I saw the pillar being borne through the air.
Being borne through the air, a pillar being borne through the air. Interesting.
And was astonished at the strength of the 2 demons. And when I considered with myself how mighty they were, and how they could shake the whole world in a moment of time, I feared to let them go. I made therefore a circle about them in the air with my ring, and said, Stay there. And the demons stayed, holding the pillar sloping between heaven and earth. And there they are to this day. And if anyone looks, he can see the pillar sloping in the heavens, but the demons he cannot see. But when they let fall the pillar, then will be the end of the world.
So they can see the pillar, but they can't see the demons. Now, Tony's Coffee House made a video today. He was watching this same live feed right here, or it's the same channel or whatever. And when they were in there doing their commentary, which they might be now, but I have the sound off, they were talking about a battle with the atmosphere. We can read about that in the book of Revelation, is what I'm saying. There's a very clear battle with the atmosphere. Angels fighting against the atmosphere. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look Revelation 7. I'm going to show you something cool. Well, not cool, but... So what did I title this video? Pillars, Winds, and a Thief in the Night. Because the people who are not paying attention to this specific aspect of the book of Revelation, the winds, and then the battle happening in the sky, if the people aren't paying attention to that, and a lot of these people tend to be saying that it's all fake, it's being faked, there's nobody up in the sky, it's being faked, while it's all happening, they're oblivious to it. And so that's kind of why I want to point it out, because they're ignoring what John wrote down for us. They're ignoring what Daniel wrote down for us. They're ignoring what Zechariah and all these prophets wrote down for us, as if it's not going to happen during their lifetime. And the point I'm trying to make is that it is happening during our lifetime right now. Oh, I got you on the wrong screen. Let's just read a little bit of Revelation 7. How do I get over there? Sorry. After this, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding back its 4 winds. This isn't the right version, is it? I don't know what version that was. After these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. So what that just said is that there's angels, and they're holding the winds. There's 4 of them. 4 winds, 4 angels. That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And then he heard how many were sealed, 144,000, and they're from these 12 tribes. And he names all the tribes. And it says, After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the 4 beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshipped God, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. So there is a throne in the sky, in a temple in the sky, and there's one that sits on that throne in the sky, and there's people that believe that, and those people were arrayed in white robes. They came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Now let's go to Revelation 3, because we're talking about pillars. Look what it says, what Jesus says here. He says, Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. A pillar in the temple of my God. Let me just remind you what a pillar is and where the temple of God is. Just think about that. I'm not saying that you're going to be a rocket. I'm saying that there is false Christs being false prophets. Like Elon Musk is one. He's probably the biggest one. But so that a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. So just think about where are these rockets, these landing boosters, where are they coming from? Where are these things going, and where are they going to come from when they land? They're trying to imitate something. They're trying to be, basically they're trying to be their own God. Think about it. So, the book of Enoch. Whoops, chapter 21. I want to go to chapter 18. Enoch gets to see the treasuries of the winds. And there was one other verse I was going to look up, was in John chapter 3. Reason why I want to look at this is because some of these things are, let's see here. Okay, so this was with Nicodemus. And Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, Ye must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but thou canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. That just says something about the wind to me. The Spirit. What I'm saying is that the wind, it's spirits. It's like angels controlling all of that. And like that, let's see here. Where were we? Okay, so this word, ram, it's obviously the animal, but it's also used in Ezekiel's temple. Look at a pilaster or a projection in each side of or in the wall at each side of the entrance in Solomon's temple. Interesting that Solomon's temple is mentioned here because he was talking about the great pillar and how it's born in the air. And when it comes, and when they bring it down, it's the end of the world. Well, and then, that was the other part. Okay, let's go back to that video. I want to play the very end of it again. Sorry.
Demons he cannot see, but when they
to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
And if anyone looks, he can see the pillar sloping in the heavens, but the demons he cannot see.
The demons he cannot see. So I'm going to show you something very cool. Or it's not cool. I'm using the wrong words. It's very good to know about. Okay? That when these guys had these visions. Now, the reason why I came to this word right here is because Daniel used it in a vision to describe what he was seeing. In Daniel 8 verse 3, he says, And I lifted up mine eyes, and I saw, and there a ram was standing beside the river. So he sees a ram, and let's go back to, oops, that's 10. Sorry, I'm just getting back to, here we go, the KJV. It was a ram that Daniel saw being pulled up to the sky by that little he-goat that had the notable horn between his eyes. But in verse 3, he says, Then I lifted up mine eyes. So he looked up and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth. On the face of the whole earth. and touched not the ground. If something's moving over the face of the whole earth, not touching the ground, what's it doing? It's flying. It's flying. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram. See, I think Daniel's using this word the same way that it's used in Solomon's temple as the, you know what? Right on your screen right now, look at this. Right there. That entrance to that temple, I know it's a cartoon, but on these two sides, these two columns, or they're actually pilasters, that word is the word used for those in, it was First Kings, we can look at it in a minute, is a ram. That's the same word. A great pillar. So when Daniel says, let me bring you over to the desktop. So when Daniel says this, when he says, whoops. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared to me at the first. I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and that's when he sees the ram. Now, the vision that came before this one, look at this. It's talking about the 4 winds. In the 1st year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. Well, let me look something up. The Testament of Levi, I just want to show you one thing at the beginning here. He talks about a great sea hanging. Right here in verse 10. And I entered from the first heaven, and I saw there a great sea hanging. Okay, that sea hanging is what Daniel is talking about right here. Behold, the 4 winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. That's up in the sky. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Okay, so then that's when he saw the 4 beasts. And the 4th one was the 4th kingdom. And there's another place where we see some beasts, 2nd Esdras. He sees a vision of the eagle. On the 2nd night I had a dream. I saw rising from the sea an eagle that had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. Now, we wouldn't know which sea that is until we keep reading. I saw it spread its wings over the whole earth, and all the winds of heaven blew upon it, and the clouds were gathered around it. Which sea is that? The winds of heaven blew upon it, and the clouds were gathered around it. That's the upper sea, the waters above. And I saw that out of its wings grew opposing wings, but they became tiny, puny wings. Look what it says here. Then I saw that the eagle flew with its wings, and it reigned over the earth and over those who inhabit it. I saw how all the things under heaven were subjected to it, and no one spoke against it, not a single creature that was on the earth. Then I saw the eagle rise up its talons, and it uttered a cry to its wings, saying, Do not all watch at the same time. Let each sleep in its own place and watch in its turn. But let the heads be reserved for the last. So these wings are going up and down and up and down. And let's see here. Verse 36. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 11. Then I heard a voice saying to me, Look in front of you and consider what you see. When I looked, I saw what seemed to be a lion roused from the forest, roaring. And I heard how it uttered a human voice to the eagle and spoke, saying, Listen, and I will speak to you. The Most High says to you, Are you not the one that remains of the 4 beasts that I had made to reign in my world, so that the end of my times might come through them? You, the 4th that has come, have conquered all the beasts that have gone before, and you have held sway over the world with great terror and over the earth with grievous oppression. And for so long you have lived in the earth with deceit. You have judged the earth, but not with truth. You have oppressed the meek and injured the peaceable. You have hated those who tell the truth and have loved liars. You have destroyed the homes of those who brought forth fruit and have laid low the walls of those who did you no harm. Your insolence has come up before the Most High, and your pride to the Mighty One. The Most High has looked at his times, now they have ended, and his ages have reached completion. Therefore you, eagle, will surely disappear, you and your terrifying wings, your most evil little wings, your malicious heads, your most evil talons, and your whole worthless body, so that the whole earth, freed from your violence, may be refreshed and relieved, and may hope for the judgment and mercy of him who made it. So then there's an interpretation. I just wanted to show you guys this because there's definitely things up in the sky, things with clouds flying around it, and the winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. Oh, there's another one. Let's look at Revelation 13. Same thing here. This first part, this belongs in the last verse of Revelation 12. And you can look up the Greek there and find that out. Actually, we'll do it right now. I'll just show you. And I stood upon the sand of the sea. That's a horrible translation by the KJV. Here's how we can know. That's not John saying he's standing by the sand of the sea. Because look, in the Greek, it's not even there. And I saw out of the sea a beast rising, having horns. Okay. Look what happens when we go back to the last verse. In Revelation 12, it's talking about the dragon. And the dragon was angry and with the woman and went to make war with the rest of the children of her, keeping the commandments of God and holding the testimony of Jesus. And he stood upon the sand of the sea. The dragon was on the sand of the sea. So that's a horrible translation. But anyway, it's not a big deal. So let's just go back to this. Oops, one more page. But this same beast that comes out of the sea, well, in the book of Revelation, he's mentioned many times, and 2 of the other times he's mentioned, it says he came out from the bottomless pit. So that's what this is, the sea. It's that great hanging sea. It's the great sea, the waters above, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies in Psalm 18. I stood upon the sand of the sea, so forget about that part. But I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns upon his, horns, and, sorry, I read that wrong. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. The beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Let me just show you something. Let's just look at a contract that NASA has with, here we go, SpaceX. Dragon. Commercial resupply services overview. I don't want to read this whole thing. That isn't actually the page I was looking for. Let's see. NASA's website is like a virus. Or it's like a... Yeah. It's a mess. Mission overview. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Commercial resupply services are a series of flights awarded by NASA for the delivery of cargo and supplies to the International Space Station on commercially operated spacecraft. The first CRS contracts were signed in 2008 and awarded $1.6 billion to SpaceX for 12 cargo Dragon. Okay, so the dragon does give the space station its power. There's an image of it right there. Okay? This is why I'm saying, this is why I put Thief in the Night in the title. If you guys think this is ridiculous, you're not paying attention. There's things to learn here that are being revealed by God. So if you want to ignore it, that's on you. Just so you guys know, I don't have the chat. I have it up somewhere, but let's see where it is. Right here. So good to see you guys. Good question, Melissa Stack. Could Solomon see them? Good question. I'm not sure, Tim Pack. He says, hey, Joe, isn't the Holy Spirit the great restrainer of the four winds? In Revelation 7, it just says there's 4 angels holding them from hurting the earth. And it was given to those angels to hurt the earth and the sea and the trees or whatever. So, let's see. It is a crazy time, isn't it, Cindy Lou? I wanted to check out the chat and say hi to everyone. Hello, everyone. Yeah, Tony's Coffee House totally gets what I'm seeing. Now, let me just explain to you an unfortunate mindset to have, okay? This thing on your screen right here, okay, I got to get rid of the chat again. Whoops, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, this thing on your screen right here, this is called the Dragon Capsule. This little horn right here. Okay. A lot of people who believe the Bible and believe in Jesus, a lot of the people who would say that, they also say that this is being faked by men. Okay? They say that this isn't real. This image on your screen, that's not real. None of that's real. And then there's not only the images that we get from NASA and all that, like this one, but there's the images that we get from the ground of these things. Now, I don't know how someone can be continually living underneath. I'm looking for a video, sorry. Can be living underneath all these things happening and ignore it. I really don't know how that works. Like this. Okay, I took this image with a Nikon P1000. That's like the flat earthers camera of choice. But I don't see many flat earthers taking video of the space station going over. It goes over your house every day, several times, but visible almost every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day it's visible. So what is that? What's flying over the house? What's flying over your house? Well, the prophets saw it. You know, when John went, we didn't get to the book of Enoch yet, chapter 18. Let me read it to you while this is just a video of me filming the space station. This is Enoch chapter 18, verses 1 through 5. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. So, that's verse 1. There's a lot of information in verse 1. It says that he furnished with the winds the whole creation. That's a kind of a big thing to say. Enoch saw how he had furnished with the 4 winds the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. So what are the firm foundations of the earth? The 4 winds. That's what Enoch says. And I saw, this is verse 2, and I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the 4 winds, which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. So there you go. They are the pillars of the, well, actually it says that here. I'll keep reading. Verse 3, and I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. So the pillars of the earth are the 4 winds. The pillars of the heaven are the 4 winds. And there's the four winds of the earth, and there's the four winds of heaven. So here's verse 4. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. So the winds of heaven are turning, guys. Here's verse 5. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the path of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. There you go. The four winds are a part of this whole creation. And so let me get something else on the screen for you. So this unfortunate situation, or this mindset I'm talking about a little bit that's unfortunate, is to think that this is being faked or that it's fake. It's not fake. Let me get another thing on the screen. Okay, have you guys ever... Well, hold on a minute. Where is it? There's a few videos I want to show you. Okay, this one is going to have some loud music, but it shouldn't play, so... I called this one Great Hail, but I want to show you what happens when something is outside of the earth and it comes into the earth, or it wants to enter the earth. Because remember, the winds of heaven are turning, and remember the winds of the earth are holding up the clouds, and obviously the clouds aren't turning, they're just sitting there, or they move slowly or whatever. But let me find this video. I have way too many videos in here, I guess. Sorry. I can't find it. Let me try it again. Oh, dragon plume. We'll look at that too. Great hail. Oh, where did it go? I must have just overlooked it. Sorry, guys. A Falcon 9 rocket came and deorbited, or didn't fire a deorbit burn long enough or something. And it came in over like Oregon, Washington area. And I just want to have some of that playing. Where in the world did this thing go? I'm not having very good luck finding this, guys. Oh, there it is. This is what it looks like from the ground. You'll notice that it goes in a straight line. It doesn't like arc like it's going to fall. And that it's going very fast. That's how fast the space station goes. That's how fast anything goes that's up in heaven or in the firmament, because it turns. The winds of heaven turn. It says here, I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and the stars to their setting. So those right there, that's a booster burning up when it goes from not in the air to in the air. A bunch of views of it here. You're going to see more and more of this happening. And it's going to be someday, sooner than any of us thinks, I'm sure, the whole sky's going to kind of look like that when everything up there starts to fall all at once. And it's going to start everything on fire down here. It says blood and swords or something coming from the sky. Let's see here. Okay, there's another thing I want to show you. Speaking of the sky, in Baruch, what is this? This is 2nd Baruch, I guess. The book of the Apocalypse of Baruch, the son of Neriah. Let's see. Where is it here? Okay, verse 4. Or chapter 4, verse 1. I'm not sure how they do the chapters here. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. 4, verse 1. And the Lord said unto me, This city shall be delivered up for a time, and the people shall be chastened during a time, and the world will not be given over to oblivion. Dost you think that this is that city of which I said, On the palms of my hands have I graven you? This building now built in your midst is not that which is revealed with me. That which prepared beforehand here from the time when I took counsel to make paradise and show Adam before he sinned. But when he transgressed the commandment, it was removed from him, also paradise. And after these things I showed it to my servant Abraham by night among the portions of the victims. And again I showed it to Moses on Mount Sinai, when I showed to the likeness of the tabernacle and all its vessels. And now behold, it is preserved with me as paradise. Go therefore and do as I command you. Up in the sky, there's a place that God showed it to those people you just mentioned, Abraham and Adam and Moses. There's a place up there that's not built with hands, but it's a city called Mount Zion or New Jerusalem, and it's God's sanctuary. And look what it says in chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "And I answered and said, so then I am destined to grieve for Zion, for your enemies will come to this place and pollute your sanctuary, and lead your inheritance into captivity, and make themselves masters of those whom you have loved. And they will depart again to place of their idols, and will boast before them." There's another place in 2nd Esdras where he says, "Do not pollute my sanctuary." That's what this is. That's what these people are doing. The same thing they were trying to do with the Tower of Babel, trying to climb up to heaven, ascend into heaven. That's what Lucifer says in his heart. Let's listen to Jubilees chapter 10, I think. Yeah, let's listen to, or at least part of it. Chapter 10. And in the 3rd week of this Jubilee, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make to err and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him concerning the demons which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons' sons. And he prayed before the Lord his God, and said, God of the spirits of all flesh, who has shown mercy unto me, and has saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish as thou didst the sons of perdition. For thy grace has been great towards me, and great has been thy mercy to my soul. Let thy grace be lift up upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits... Okay, sorry guys, it's having a little trouble playing. I'm going to skip towards the end here. Let's see. Okay, let's go probably right about here, I'm guessing. 433 cubits and 2 palms, and the extent of one wall was 13 stades, and of the other 30 stades. And the Lord our God said unto us, Behold, they are one people, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be withholden from them. Go to, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, and they may be dispersed into the cities and nations, and one purpose will no longer abide with them till the day of judgment. And the Lord descended, and we descended with him to see the city and tower which the children of men had built. And he confounded their language, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased then to build the city and the tower. For this reason the whole land of Shinar is called Babel, because the Lord did there confound all the language of the children of men. And from thence they were dispersed into their cities, each according to his language and his nation. So, that time, that's in Genesis 11, I think. That time, when they built that tower, they had it in their hearts. Actually, I'll read that to you. There's wickedness in their hearts, and it's the same exact kind of wickedness that we have in our world today that's unseen. The flat earthers say it's fake. say there is no wickedness. They say that they're lying about it. But the Bible says that it's a big shout lifted up against God that the world's doing, just like the Tower of Babel. I'm going to read part of, really quick. I want to read a few verses in Jasher chapter 9, the book of Jasher chapter 9. And King Nimrod reigned securely, this is verse 20. And all the earth was under his control, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. Okay, they all spoke the same language. And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together, Phut, Mitzrayim, Cush, and Canaan, and their families, and they said to each other, Come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven, and we will make ourselves famed, so that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, and that we may not become scattered over the earth on account of their wars. And they all went before the king, and they told the king these words, and the king agreed with them in this affair, and he did so. So that was King Nimrod. And all the families assembled, consisting of about 600,000 men, and they went to seek an extensive piece of ground to build the city and the tower, and they sought in the whole earth, and they found none like one valley at the east of the land of Shinar, about 2 days' walk. And they journeyed there, and they dwelt there. And they began to make bricks and burn fires and to build the city and tower that they had imagined, that's very important, that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it. Now just keep in mind SpaceX and NASA and von Braun and rockets and the whole idea of going up to the sky. Just keep that in mind. The building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it. And while they were building against the Lord God of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. And all these people and all the families divided themselves in 3 parts. The first said, We will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, We will ascend into heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. And the third part said, We will ascend into heaven and smite him with bows and spears. And God knew all their works and all their evil thoughts, and he saw the city and the tower in which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high and strong tower. And on account of its height, the mortar and bricks did not reach the builders in their ascent to it until those who had went up had completed a full year. And after that, they reached to the builders and gave them the mortar and bricks. Thus it was done daily. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and get broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. And the Lord knew their thoughts. And it came to pass, when they were building, they cast arrows toward the heavens. And all the arrows fell upon them, filled with blood. And when they saw them, they said to each other, Surely we have slain all those that are in heaven. For this was from the Lord, in order to cause them to err, and in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. So he confounded their language. We all know the story. And they were dispersed and scattered. And the tower was, well, that's another interesting part about this story. The tower itself. I'll just read the rest of the chapter here. It's only like another 7 verses or something like that. And they built the tower in the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and years were elapsed. And God said to the 70 angels who stood foremost before him, to those who were near to him, saying, Come, let us descend and confuse their tongues, that one man shall not understand the language of his neighbor. And they did so unto them. From that day following, they forgot each man his neighbor's tongue, and they could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hands of his neighbor lime or stone, which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon his neighbor, that he would die. And they did this many days, and they killed many of them in this manner. And the Lord smote the 3 divisions that were there. And he punished them. Remember the 3 divisions? That's another important thing. The second one said that they were going to ascend into heaven and place their own gods there and serve them. Satellites. Oh, but the the people that are supposed to be aware of this think that they're fake. They don't even look up at the sky. When you look up at the sky and you see these lights flying all over the place, but satellites are fake, yeah. And that's just because you ignore the entire aerospace industry. You refuse, and I'm not talking to everyone, I'm talking to specific mindset. You refuse to look into any of these things. Like you'll look at, you'll look across flat water to something that proves that the earth is not curving. But you'll be scared to point that thing up in the sky. That same camera, you won't point it up in the sky and notice what's going on up there. You might point at the moon or something. But all the other things happening up there, you just want to say that they're being faked. Which makes no sense, by the way. Men have done great things and wicked things. One of the most wicked things and great things that they have done is putting things up in God's tabernacle, in his sanctuary, where his temple and his throne are. Think about it. I'll keep reading here. Verse 36. Oh, wait. Nope. Verse 35. And the Lord smote the 3 divisions that were there. He punished them according to their works and designs. Those who said, we will ascend into heaven and serve our gods, became like apes and elephants. And those who said, we will smite the heaven with arrows. Sounds like space exploration to me. The Lord killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. In the 3rd division of those who said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him, the Lord scattered them throughout the earth. And those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the whole earth. And they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore, he called that place Babel, for the Lord confounded the language of the whole. For there the Lord confounded the language of the whole earth. Behold, it was at the east of the land of Shinar, and as the tower which the sons of men built, the earth, or as to the tower which the sons of men built, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up 1/3 part thereof. And a fire also descended from heaven and burnt another third. And the other third is left to this day, and it is of that part which was aloft, and its circumference is 3 days' walk. And many of the sons of men died in that tower, a people without number. Isn't that a strange thing? It says it was still aloft to this day. A third of it. So I don't know what that means. Okay, so I have the boring screen there for you. Sorry about that. Check this out.
But the thing that's really important to revolutionize space is a rapidly reusable rocket. That's reliable too. So that's really what needs to happen. If that can be done, then the cost of access to orbit and beyond can be reduced by potentially a factor of 100 or more. So that's really what is most important about. It's got to be done by somebody's got to do this. And if you have rapid and complete reusability, then that opens up. That is the gateway to the heavens.
That is the gateway to the heavens? No. If you're interested in the gateway to the heavens, there's only one way, and that is not a rocket. If you go to, well, Jesus will tell you how that all works. Read the Gospel of John. It's all throughout that book. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. This is the condemnation, that light came into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that hateth or doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest that they are wrought in God. darkness and light. He also said, if I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And no man hath ascended up to heaven but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. There is nobody going to heaven on a rocket. They're going to outer darkness on a rocket. They're going sideways on a rocket. They're not going up. They go up for a brief moment, but then they go sideways.
1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
While we're watching this video and the next one, keep in mind the four winds and what they are. We were reading about them in Enoch chapter 18, verses 1 through 5. Remember, they're the pillars of the heaven. They're the foundations of the earth. He furnished the whole creation with them. So when we're watching these rocket launches, pay attention to what's happening. I have a video. We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now, and then we'll come back to this video. I just want to show you something. I don't know what it's going to take to get to show you this, but a video that I have on my computer. Let me find it. Whoops, where are we? Okay, hold on. I thought I already had it up, but I don't, I guess. Sorry, guys. It was vapor cone. I'm going to just play a video and try to get it on the screen, the desktop or whatever. Vapor cone. Okay, we might have to, it's only 33 seconds long, so give me a minute to get it on the screen. Something should be happening soon here. Oh, okay, let me pause it here. I just want to show you guys, I found this. This is a one that I was looking for. I had found it a long time ago, and let me just bring it onto the screen, and then I'll pull you over there. Okay, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, sorry. Watch this. Maybe there's no sound. Watch see the vapor cone? And then you see it go through something. Now everyone's gonna say that's just a shock wave. Look for the vapor cone. Right when you see the vapor cone, you're gonna see ripples coming out from it. See that? It's because there's waters above, and I'm not pretending to try to understand everything about those waters, but there's winds, and there are angels holding those winds. Okay, there's angels holding those winds from hurting the earth. How long are they going to hold those winds? Well, the other angel asked them, he said, until, what did he say? Wait until we've sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. I'm looking for the video that we were just watching. What happened to it? Okay, let's go to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Whoops.
But
the maximum air is supersonic. And we should be passing through max Q here in just a few seconds.
Vehicles reach maximum aerodynamic pressure.
We just passed through max Q.
Because there are waters above. Remember, was it the Testament of Levi? He said he saw a great sea hanging. Let's see here. What do you think?
propulsive landing.
Getting the basic infrastructure of being able to reuse these rockets.
Guys, the Pope is not making fire come down from the sky, just so you know. There is somebody, or a machine that's doing that, though.
Propulsive landing.
It's a witness testimony of John. It's not my idea. It's on your screen, Revelation 13, verse 13.
Getting the basic infrastructure of being able to reuse these rockets.
Fast, you're going to do a final burn here in just a moment.
Do you guys remember what the Testament of Solomon was saying? He was saying that your eyes could see the pillar, but could not see the demons.
There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down. Double sonic booms.
Woohoo! Enoch saw him too.
2 down. Beautiful landing. And I see 2 standing.
The pillars were moved of the earth were moved from their place. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Wait for the sonic boom. Wait for the sonic boom.
I believe that it's important for the future to be a spacefaring civilization, and out there, ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that's the exciting, inspiring future that I think certainly people in this room want.
Okay, the next video, I'm going to be talking about the speed of sound and breaking the sound barrier. sound waves move through different mediums at different speeds. And through the air, when a jet's flying about 750 miles an hour, it's going about the same speed as the sound waves that it's making. Kind of like a boat pushes the water away, it creates pressure waves. And in the air, this is what it looks like. What I want to point out is that the physics we know, in this world that we know, this is something that probably is like on the edge of some kind of limitation. Something moving faster than the sound it is making.
There it is. There it is.
The space shuttle doesn't fly anymore, but when it did, it would take about 45 seconds for the space shuttle to reach that speed of sound. And just like the same as a boat or a jet, pushing through the air creates a pressure wave, and this is what it looks like up close. And we can see this vapor cone. By the way, I gotta remind the people who say that this is all fake or that this is a helium balloon. Wake up. Helium balloons don't go faster than the speed of sound, okay? Quite clearly, anytime something is traveling that fast. Here's the Saturn V. So when it reaches that speed of sound, something happens, and this is where it gets interesting. Watch these next few clips very carefully. Okay, watch for the vapor cone, and then watch what happens. Do you see that? So what is it that we are actually watching here when you see those ripples? As if there was a barrier of some sort that is being penetrated. It's called a shockwave, but I'm asking you to think about what's happening. And when this happens, it creates sonic booms.
And once we hear that boom, we...
Yeah, there they are. Coming in like meteors, real fast. They're going to do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down. Double sonic booms. Beautiful landing. see 2 standing. Perfect.
Why am I talking about the speed of sound, or the sound barrier? Well, it gets kind of deep. It has to do with the firmament, and it has to do with the 4 winds of heaven. And of course, we can't forget what's on your screen: a dragon.
And I saw the storehouses of all the winds, and I saw how with them he has adorned all creation, and I saw the foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth, and I saw the 4 winds which support the earth and the sky. And I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven, and how they positioned themselves between heaven and earth. They are the pillars of heaven. And I saw the winds which turned the sky and caused the disk of the sun and all the stars to set. And I saw the winds on the earth which support the clouds, and I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of heaven above.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones, and the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them, and they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. That I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them, and they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations.
Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
So here is a video that I was watching Now You See TV Midnight Ride, and those guys are learning the same kinds of things that I'm learning. So I made a video all these rockets, they're doing one thing. They're they're upholding the space station to be a place. They're bringing people back and forth to the space station. They're bringing supplies back and forth to the space station. The space station is the whole reason why these rockets are doing anything right now, okay? And let's see. Let's just watch this video. Now You See TV, those guys, I'm going to be watching them tonight, I think, in about 40 minutes. But let's watch this video, and where 2nd Esdras talks about a star in the sky.
You know, we've been studying as deep as we can into some of the astronomical events that have taken place in the world. And when we start talking about this destroyer, obviously millions of things, something major comes to mind, but a lot of different clues on what a lot of mythologies talk about. I mean, almost all of them have this star or thing or whatever you want to call it that comes forth and creates a catastrophic event that really actually changes, and you'll get into that, but changes time itself.
Yeah, it changes time itself. It changes the calendar.
This star.
This is the only place that humans have outside of planet Earth where humans can live. And if you like, down there on Earth, you can actually see it with your naked eye. You just go to the ISS website and it tells you when to see us. You can look up in the sky and you will see this bright little star moving over the sky.
This star.
Now, when this war begins, also the war in the heavenlies will take place. And we're going to look at a text here in 2nd Esdras, and we're going to look behind the scenes into the spiritual realm for just a moment. In 2nd Esdras 15:35, and they shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth. And even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and even their own star. And even their own star.
This bright little star moving over the sky.
And even their own star. Now this talks about casualties in the angelic realm of stars being beat down to the earth by other stars. This is literally an angel war that we're seeing, and the war in heaven. This is going to be wild, and I don't know how much of this we're going to see. During this time, the word in Isaiah says, you know, you better get in and hide, because there's going to be all kinds of strange going on. This is when Jesus said men's hearts are going to fail them for fear. Their hearts are just going to give out because it's just too much for them. Now, there is a precise correlation to this in the scripture about the smiting down of the stars. Now, let's read it in Daniel chapter 8 and verse 10. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. That there's going to be casualties in this spiritual war. We're actually going to have angels fighting and destroying one another, casting them to the ground and stamping them. And in this text, it says that the little horn will do this.
he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host.
Okay, I'm pausing the video because I just had a thought that seems like I can make a better point of it now that we're watching this. Daniel told us about a time, oh my cat's going crazy. Daniel told us about a time when, hold on just a second. He's telling us about a time when he saw a vision of this horn that he described as a he-goat with a notable horn between his eyes, and it waxed great even to the host of heaven. So it went, and it was down by the ground, moving across the face of the whole earth without touching the ground. So it was flying down by him, and then it went all the way up. It pulled this ram all the way up to the host of heaven, and it cast down stars to the ground. And as it was going up, it kept breaking into pieces, and the little horn and something else would come out. Do you guys know what stage separations are? Daniel saw stage separations of a rocket launch. And the point I want to make is, if you're a person saying space is fake or being faked, you're ignoring Daniel's vision and his testimony about it, and you're ignoring the book of Revelation and the testimony John gave. Because in those books, there's something very clear, and it's becoming more and more clear to me every time I am studying it.
And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered.
Cast down the truth to the ground. Okay, now we're just about to the end of this stream, but what I want to do before, I have a short video here, 2-minute video or something that I want to play. If I say the earth is flat, a lot of the people that disagree with that, their first reason why they're going to tell me that it's not flat does have to do with the space station. It has to do with the moon landing. It has to do with anything up in space, a place where they've never been, by the way. I'm saying that these people that believe in the space station and the globe, they've never been up there to see it themselves. They're just taking the word of whatever pictures that we get or whatever. But here's the point I would make. If I ask you, let's have a discussion about it, Earth being flat, and you're going to say the space station orbits a globe, you're going to be starting to talk about the space station. You're basically going to say, who is able to make war with him? That's what you're going to say. So let's check this out.
And he said to me, because of their iniquity, their judgment has been completed, and they will no longer be counted before me. Because of their sorceries, they have searched out and learnt, the earth and those who dwell upon it will be destroyed. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. And all will fall down, and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable.
Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. That I should bear witness unto the truth.